So starting here, so let's just go do a small recap of, or at least read the translation of Srila Prabhupada of what the 13th and 14th verses. So yesterday we saw there's a pivot from Canto 2, where Sukadeva Goswami finished answering two questions asked by Parikshit Maharaj. What are those two questions? What should be the duty of a living entity while he's living, and as well as what he should do, especially while he's living, and especially what should one do one is when he's on a deathbed. Okay, when he's about to die. So what is his duties? So Sukadeva Goswami finished answering those two questions. Now it goes to the Canto 1, the originally like Srimad Bhagavatam. Uh, when it started, like Saunakadi Rishis requested Sutta Goswami to speak. Okay, they also asked a set of 6 questions. So it's further expansion of those 6 questions, or what we are seeing now. So again, now Saunaka Rishi goes back and asks. Again, our Vyasadeva is taking us back to what Sonakadi Rishis asked Sukadeva Goswami. So the translation goes like this for the 13th verse. Sanuka said, the son of Vyasadeva, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, was a highly learned sage and was able to describe things in a poetic manner. What did Maharaj Parikshit again inquire from him after hearing all that he had said? This is verse 13. And verse 14, O learned Sutta Goswami, please continue to explain such topics to us because we are all eager to hear. Besides that, topics which result in the discussion of Lord Hari should certainly be discussed in the assembly of devotees. So this is what like so the Goswami. So Saunaka Rishi understood Maharaj Parikshit is very eager, so he would have asked more on this topic. Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam didn't end there. He was very confident about it, or intuitively he understands. Okay, yes, Maharaj Parikshit would have asked something more because he wouldn't have been satisfied just by knowing these two answers to these questions. He would have asked more. Now here as well, like as a true seeker of absolute truth, Saunaka Rishi is also very much eager to know what was discussed. So he is asking Sudhir Goswami, saying, we are also very eager. Kindly please narrate what happened. And certainly the key point, how this discussion should happen. And discussion should happen among the assembly of devotees. It's just not from by a professional speaker and a set of like armchair philosophers sitting there and hearing it. Rather, it is done in the correct mode. Okay, and from the through the correct source we receive this. So that's another thing which is indicated by Saunaka Rishi here. So the purpose of appearance of Srimad Bhagavatam is where, like, okay, it is to help us move from this mixed condition which we are. Okay, that's what we saw. Like akama sarva kama va moksha kama udharedihi tivirena bhakti yogena ijeta purusham param. So a lot of us are in different levels. Some are like pure devotees, akama, then sarvakama, and most of the population are in this category of having having all these desires to enjoy, and some are frustrated with this material enjoyment, and actually they want to have liberation, especially the liberation of becoming one with the Lord, all those things for everything. Then Srimad Bhagavatam purpose of appearance is what? To move us from this mixed condition to the state of pure consciousness. And how do we do go there? We go there through the practice of this, the only path, okay, which is the Thivara Bhakti, okay, taking shelter of this devotional service. How that happens? That happens only through the association and service to the pure devotees and other like-minded devotees who are actually engaged in serving this book Bhagavatam as well as the person Bhagavatam. This is how we Bhagavatam, this is what Bhagavatam message is, that is to help us move from this mixed condition to the pure state. How it is possible? Through the practice of devotional service. How do we practice devotional service? We practice devotional service through the association, and through association is just not like or a get together kind of thing, rather through the medium of service. The service can be hearing, chanting, and then other like okay, so we have this 9 process of devotional service: hearing, chanting, remembering, shravanam, kirtanam, vishnu swaranam, pada sevanam, archanam, mandram, dasyam, sakyam, atma nivedanam. So there's many, these are 9 processes, right? That we engage in this 9 process along with other devotees. With serving, when we say serving Krishna, does not mean him alone. Serving Krishna means serving all his associates and his followers as well. So serving those pure devotees who represents these teachings, who live a life as per these teachings, and as well as other like-minded devotees who are following in their footsteps and serving them and hearing from them. That is why serving of book Bhagavatam as well as the person Bhagavatam. And this is what is amplified further in the first canto, second chapter. Nashta prayesho badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. So this word nityam bhagavata sevaya, serving Bhagavatam, the book, and serving the person Bhagavatam. So this sevaya, so here nityam has multiple understanding, right? Based on where we are. One for a pure devotee, nityam means 24/7 engaged in devotional service. That is called nityam, always. Okay, but at least nityam, Prabhupada is very kind. Okay, he says nityam in this purport and all those things. He is saying okay, nityam means actually like at least regularly, on a day-to-day basis, that we engage ourselves. Hare Krishna. Any comments? Okay. So nityam at least minimally means regular, on a daily basis, that we engage ourselves in reading Srimad Bhagavatam or hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so and nityam also means it's just not only hearing. Okay, it's we hear, and what during the day what we do when we are not okay, we have to also take care of a practical as like other matters in life, right? It does not mean like okay, hearing Bhagavatam is not practical, but what we do is we hear something, and during the day when we are not engaged in hearing Bhagavatam, but we engage ourselves in serving the person Bhagavatam. That means we serve the instruction of Bhagavatam and we live by that instruction. That is called Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Right? So we hear and we try to live our life as per the instruction and meditate on that and we live our life as per that instruction. So there was one nice devotee. Okay, he was sharing with me at least for serving or hearing, reading Bhagavatam, which is like giving me a small sort of impetus, at least in my life, to be constantly associated with Bhagavatam. So the devotee was sharing. Okay, every year on January 1st, he loves Bhagavatam a lot. Okay, what he was saying is. Every day he at least completes one chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam has around 335 chapters overall put together, and he completes one chapter per day. So every year on Jan 1st, he starts reading Bhagavatam, first chapter. Okay, and by December 1st, 365 days are there in a year, right? So by December 1st, he would be done completing Bhagavatam with one chapter per day. So 335 chapters. So the last month of the year, so he takes once again one chapter per day of after completing Bhagavatam. He does like Bhagavad Gita for 18 days, 18 chapters, something like that, and after the nectar of instruction and the nectar of, like that, he reads. Okay, once again the next year, Jan 1st, he starts reading Bhagavatam again. So this he has been doing probably for the last 20 plus years or something like that. So this is one example of, you can say, Nityam Bhagavata Seva, regularly be doing service to Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. But okay, it may not be possible for every one of us to spend time, or like we may not have that much time with us. It depends on person to person. Okay. And he didn't say, okay, everybody has to do that. Okay. But what he was just focusing on, okay, has something like this. Okay. Some kind of like regimental thing. Okay. Maybe 1 or 2 verses a day or 1 page a day, something like that. Okay. So that we are like what we follow. Srila Prabhupada is giving us this. Okay, he has given us this wonderful treasure house of love of God in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so it is nice for us actually to be in touch with it on a regular basis, day-to-day basis. We can decide what we want to do, maybe 1 verse or 2 verses or half a page or 1 page, or whatever it is, and we read it and then try to meditate on this message over the course of the day and see how this can be done. And yesterday, Maharaj also was saying that we can share what our inspiration and what we took from it with another devotee or a group of devotees, and that's why bodhayanta parasparam katayanta chamam nityan tushyanti charamanti cha. Take pleasure in discussing about Krishna Katha is one thing. Okay, so nitya means doing some things in a regular fashion, having a kind of regular study or hearing or reflection session every day at whichever time we think okay is suitable for us. It can also be before just going to bed. Maharaj was saying there's we reflect on what we have received from the acharyas, from the devotees that day, and maybe make a small diary note or a gratitude journal where we can write down this is what I kind of appreciated, or appreciation of Bhagavatam or appreciation of principles of Bhagavatam which we applied, appreciation of devotees, whatever it is. One is regular attendance. The other one, Nityam, can also mean that we are mindfully engaged in the service of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, it is just not okay. I need to spend this 15 minutes, 20 minutes of reading some verses, and then I will start doing some other things. Okay, I'll completely forget about it, and engage, being very unmindful of what we absorbed. Okay, rather absorption happens, assimilation happens. Prabhupada gives this example of how this. What is this? Is it caterpillar? Okay, it always meditates on how it becomes a butterfly, right? And like that, the constant absorption is to be there. Nityam also means that we are mindfully observing ourselves in service of Bhagavatam. Yesterday, I was reading this news of the sixth and okay, so I'm just jumping. Okay, before I go there, okay, let me get my thoughts straight. Okay, so this Nitya means we get mindfully engaged in service of Bhagavatam. So I was just hearing this Nityan Pran Prabhu one time he shared. Okay, and this mindful engagement in service of Bhagavatam requires some training. Okay, these are principles. To apply the principles requires training. Okay, this is just not management thing. Okay, how I manage my life, manage my time, all these things are there. But beyond this management stuff, when we managing things, we should be mindfully engaged in this service. And Nityananda Pran Prabhu says he received this training from his known as Rompa Swami Maharaj. He said, because at the time he was not a temple, but he was working in a corporate world, all those things. Okay, and Maharaj told him, like, or trained him, actually, like how one should act in a place where there is not a facility for discussing Bhagavatam. Okay, most of the times we face that scenario, right? Like we are in a place where actually, like, not always in a place among the devotees where we will be able to Nityam Bhagavata Sevya. But rather, he was saying, when he goes to the office, of course, when he drives to the office, he'll be hearing lectures or kirtan, and he goes and he parks the car in the parking lot. From parking lot to his office, he has to walk a few minutes. Right? At the time, like what he was trained is, he was told, okay, while you're traveling, from, like while you're entering your workplace, just prepare your consciousness such that, okay. We are not entering just the corporate world to feed the family and to get some necessities of life. It's just not, that is not the one. Even when we are entering this different, whether we are going to go to market to buy something, or we go entering the corporate world or anything like that, the important principle, or like principle, or the important training, we should undergo this training, that I'm here as a representative of my spiritual master. I'm here representing Srila Prabhupada. I'm here representing as I'm a representative of Krishna. So I may not have an opportunity to actually explicitly practice Bhagavatam, like explicitly preach or talk about or hear Bhagavatam, or like serve a pure devotee, all these things. Yet when I enter, all these people who are associating, I'm going to associate with. Okay, one way to influence them is through our character, achar, right? Like when prachar is achar, how we deal with them. And we deal with them as a representative of the Supreme Lord and a representative of a spiritual master. And this is the mode which we should carry. I am here to do service to others. Okay, it's just not for earning money. So this is what, like one of the examples, Nityam Bhagavata same as being very mindful of who we are wherever we are, that we are representing a illustrious parampara. So we act in such a way that we ourselves reinforces this principle that I am here as a servant of my spiritual master, a servant of my acharya. Okay, that's how I have to go. So something I just want to share, and this comes through training, right? So that's what we have to. It's just not a principle. Principles is applied through practical application. And while applying this, it's quite possible, right? Like when we engaged in devotional service, in Nectar of Devotion, Rupa Goswami says, okay, Shubhada, one of the characteristics of pure devotional service is that it brings auspiciousness in the life. But at the same time, we should know how to apply these principles as well. Sometimes it's like, even though Rupa Goswami has given this anasakta vishayan yata haram upayunjata nirbande Krishna sambandhe yukta vairakyam uchyate. Sometimes we don't know how to apply these principles. We can easily misunderstand this. Here, like Maharaj was quoting uh, an instance when he was a brahmachari, or when he was a young brahmachari in ISKCON temple. He had some young devotee, okay, he heard this anasakta, okay, engaging everything, doubttailing everything in service of the Lord. So once again, now what this devotee was very much interested in playing rock music. Okay, so he said, okay, oh, this is very simple. I can just engage the rock music in service of Krishna, okay, to praise Krishna. That's what he understood. Okay, I like rock music. I'll try to dedicate rock music to praise Krishna. So what happens is, one thing is that, okay, having that principle, but what happens to to apply that principle, okay, it's just not like, okay, I know a little bit of rock music. Then what happens, our earlier nature is, okay, we are used to listening to all these mundane songs and everything musics, okay. Then we start ingesting to saying that I want to engage this talent of mine or this skill of mine in Krishna service. What happens, we start ingesting things, okay, which is not very much favorable to Krishna consciousness. Like we started listening to some very famous rock musician, okay, so that we can better in that. But while doing that, if we are not very careful, what happens? Then our Krishna consciousness definitely will take a hit. Okay, so that is why it's called like Nityam Bhagavata Seva, means being very mindful of what we try to absorb, and what, even though we may think, oh, this is good for me, but we have to be little more extra cautious in what we ingest. Saying, okay, Anasakta, oh, everything and everything, we are not that expert yet. We are not like Srila Prabhupada or our spiritual masters who know to engage everything and anything and everything in service of Krishna. Okay, so we have to be very careful about how we apply this principle as well, just not go overbound. Okay, that's That's another important aspect, like Maharaj was saying. Okay, we need to know how to apply this principle. For that, once again, we need training. So I went, okay, something which happened to me as well. Okay, so it's very personal to me. It happens. Okay, so I was given this service of helping this young devotees. Okay, one time to prepare for a drama. So at part of a drama, we need to add some masala to make it interesting. That masala comes with some jokes. Masala comes with some background, nice background music. It's quite possible to make it more interesting. What I did is, okay, we started ingesting more and more filmy kind of stuff in those drama. But it was nice. One nice devotee who saw this in me, and he just tapped me on the shoulder and told me, okay, actually we are putting this drama, but we are going to put this drama in front of deities. Okay, this drama is going to happen in our temple hall, and where the deities are there. We should be very, very extra careful that that we don't make it too commercial to attract people's attention, because we are here to glorify the Supreme Lord and his representatives. It's not like to make it very interesting for people to clap and enjoy all those things. So those things comes later. But the thing is, first thing is, this is what we are doing. So let's minimize. Okay, let it be there just attract their attention for a little while, maybe for 10 seconds. After that, let's go and try to engage ourselves so that it is pleasing to the Lord. So it's a very nice instruction, or like you could say training I got, saying, okay, yeah, this is what. Other aspect is, if we make it too commercial, and people may see, okay, if I do something like this, okay, it's quite possible saying, okay, that group did this, and some other good group may say, oh, this is the standard in ISKCON, I can also do the same thing. So then that becomes like we kind of dilute whatever, like one person that becomes a standard and everybody starts following. So we should be very happy. At least I was very happy that I got this correction and this training from this nice devotee who thought of like he cared for me, so he gave this to me. So this is something which I connected when Maharaj was speaking about this young devotee who tried to ingest some, who tried to apply the principle, who didn't understand the exact essence of the principle and tried to do something else. Okay, so I felt, okay, this happened in my life too. Okay. So there are aspects is uh, just give me a moment. So we talked about, okay, Nityam Bhagavata Sevya means, okay, just to summarize, okay, it means engaging in regular attendance, regularly hearing, and mindfully applying. At the same time, understanding how it needs to be applied. Okay, and also we don't get too overboard when we do, and I just touched upon saying, okay, uh, how when we engage in devotional service, okay, the auspiciousness comes in our life. The auspiciousness comes through the medium of destruction of sins. Okay, when sins reduces, then there's like naturally the opportunity for engagement in more. If we are not classful, like when the distress reduces, what happens? We may become little lethargic as well. Like for example, I just want to give an example. Yesterday, there were these six girls. Okay, the news that came. The six girls in UP Agra, they got drowned in Yamuna River. Okay, they entered the water, but actually these girls were actually coming from a nearby village. They were walking in the fields. Okay, they were very tired because of hot summer, and they just want to enter the river Yamuna just to get rid of their tiredness. So initially, the purpose to get into the water is to remove the tiredness from the hot sun. But as they started entering the water and the tiredness went away, what happened? So the purpose changed from removing tiredness to actually enjoying playing in the waters of River Yamuna. Okay, so what happened? As they started becoming more and more enjoying, move to the phase of like enjoying spirit. What happened? They started going deeper and deeper to have more thrill and adventure. Okay. So as they went more deeper and deeper from the far away from the bank, what happened? Strong current came and they were swept away, and all six of them got drowned. So similarly, we should be very careful, okay, when we are engaging some devotional service, okay, auspiciousness comes in our life. But if we are not mindful, we are very careless about it, what happens? We can easily be swept away by these modes of nature. And Prabhupada gives this example of a whirlpool. See, the whirlpool, it just keeps like, if you put even something just on the edge, okay, it will quickly get sucked to the middle. Similarly, like if we are not careful and we are mindful of how we apply the principle, what happens? We can also, we may think it is Krishna consciousness. We may think this is what it is. Okay, I'm applying the principle and remembering Krishna, but within a fraction of a second, Krishna will go out of the picture and it will be us who will be in the picture and who will be the center. So that is very important. So another aspect of being very mindful in our devotional service. So there was a very nice quotation, I would say, from His Grace Mahatma Prabhu. He was sharing this, okay, saying, okay, every time when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I'm just paraphrasing it, okay, it is an opportunity for us to be away from the whirlpool of material existence. So I can't afford to chant even a single bad round or single bad mantra. So this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is an opportunity for us to escape this whirlpool, right? And it helps us fight against this material energy. But at the same time, okay, it's the intention or motive is, okay, we cannot afford to even chant one single bad round or single bad mantra. This is the highest stage of Nityam Bhagavata Sevya. But we need to slowly go there from one mantra to maybe 108 to 16 rounds. And he says some principle how it can be applied is, okay, our mind needs some positive reinforcements. Okay, it's sometimes when we start doing some devotional service or start doing chanting at least, okay, it always starts with, oh, I cannot do it. Rather, he says like the best thing to how to apply this principle is the mind should have some positive reinforcement. That when we start to chant, okay, that's why we pray before we chant. We pray to our spiritual master to help us chant. Okay, what is that prayer is, okay, I will try to chant attentively rather than starting the chanting itself with whether I'll be able to chant attentively. Others says reinforce to the mind that we'll be able to chant the Mahamantra attentively and we pray for it. So through this repeated positive reinforcements and through the discerning mercy, then we will be, then we have a chance, or it is better, like he's saying, because he has practiced it and is sharing his experience, that the mind becomes more and more accustomed to thinking, okay, it's possible that we'll be able to chant attentively. So there are few more things. Okay, this lecture is very much packed. Okay, I could go through just 30 minutes of it. Probably I already spoke for 30 minutes. There are few more points, but in the interest of time, I will stop here. Maybe others can comment or correct me if I had spoken anything wrong. And I would encourage, okay, the audio quality is not that great, but it's full of packed. Maharaj has packed it very, 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 very. I would say the essence has been packed in a very nice way. That 1 hour of 1 hour's lecture. So I would encourage each and every one of you actually take some time and maybe hear this again. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Sarvati Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, it's always very nice to hear from you. So after a long time, we got to hear from you for the past 2 days. So very nice lecture. I mean, whatever you said was very beautiful. Nittam Bhagavate Sevaya, the way you explained. In fact, yesterday you also gave an example where there was one devotee or Maharaj Radha who took the service of discussing Bhagavata every day throughout the day. And today you gave an example of a devotee who decided to read a chapter every day throughout the year and how he covers Bhagavata. But anyway, what I'm just trying to do now, even Dhira Lalit Prabhu, he has also put up that daily japa poll where he has mentioned one part whether we are studying the Prabhupada books every day. So that is also helping. I'm trying to at least study a few pages every day. So anyway, this also what you discussed in today's class is this association of devotees, how important it is. So be there scholars or educated person, doesn't matter. But Bhagavatam studying has to be done in the group of association of devotees. So again, I'm very grateful for this group and all of you. That's what I wanted to share, Prabhu. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Your association is helping us more and more becoming serious. Seeing you, uh, we have been seeing you for the past 5 6 years. Okay, seeing your enthusiasm and your seriousness in joining every day. I'm inspired by your dedication, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. I mean, I cannot say whether I deserve this, but anyway, yes, I participate because I enjoy, I mean, I really enjoy it. And it has become like, what can be a more better way to start a day like this, hearing Bhagavata in the association of great people like all of you. So it's actually a great pleasure for me and maybe Krishna's mercy. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Kumarika Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Your way of understanding Maharaj's lecture is very unique and very helpful for us to see through your lens. Whatever you hear and how the way you interpret is very, very fascinating for me and very helpful also. So when you said that yes, you can be mindlessly engaging in devotional service. Maybe at the beginning the intention is to please Krishna, then slowly something happens and then we put ourselves in the center, and we can be swept away by the material modes anytime. So how we should be mindful about our Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. That was very much instructive, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Chanakesha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So I like very much today's lecture. So many points about Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya and how to apply the principles day-to-day life. And I like very much while we are going to workplace or any other marketplace outside, we have to be think about we are here representative of Krishna and Prabhupada, so that who we are, how we are representing, that will help us in day-to-day dealings. And about chanting attentively, we have to pray spiritual also, so that we will get the mind to attention. So that will be possible to chant attentively on each month of Prabhu. That's thank you, Harish.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you
Hare
for
Krishna,
your
Mataji.
thank you for your lecture, and your examples are really very good. I mean, the way you understand with the examples, they are really good. I got some clues. How can I read Bhagavatam? I don't know whether it is possible or not every day. I don't think so. It is possible, but at least I'll keep it in my target. So that is very good. And um, the whirlpool of Maya can take us anytime. So we should be always careful. So that point really I can it resonates with me that do not think that I am more towards bhakti because anytime it can move. So thank you for the nice points, Prabhu. It's really good to hear from you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, we start with positive reinforcement that I can do. I should try to do, rather than like start with I cannot do. So that's something like Mahatma Prabhu repeatedly stresses. Okay, at least like the keys for chanting the holy name. Yeah, he has published a small book as well. One of the thing is it's true for any form of devotional service as well. Okay, we start with positive reinforce. We reinforce the mind that I will try to do. Of course, things whether we are able to do or not is that will depend upon Krishna, the strength which Krishna gives. But at least from our side, we say, okay, I will try to attempt rather than starting the point saying, okay, I will not be able to do. So that helps. That mentality also makes a lot of difference.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you for correction, Prabhu.
Okay, so 7-9. Any other devotee would like to share?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
It took more than 20 years for Prabhupada to get the perfection in pure devotional service, and so that he can participate or mentally have this what you call pastimes. But for us, I was telling you, I am 75 now. So very few years, I am at the fag end of the period. And how I will get the purify consciousness completely purified. For that took 20 years, and getting perfection is it's a remote chance. So somebody was when I was listening to a lecture, I asked this question: is that by reading regularly Bhagavatam, your lifetime increases? So again, but I don't know. There's a lot of benefits are there by reading Bhagavatam or hearing Bhagavatam regularly. Your lecture was very good, especially your interpretation of Nitya means regularly doing it. It's not 24/7 or something like that. It's really very nice. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. I just repeated what is spoken by Maharaj. Some additions only. But mostly, I think whatever is spoken is from purport or Maharaj uh, from Maharaj lecture. And Shamkunda Prabhu, if you want to address this Sanatan Gopraj Prabhu's or Yugal Kishore Prabhu, if you are there, would you like to comment on it? Or I won't say it's a question, but rather his observation.
One thing, Sanatan Goprasru, you mentioned it took 20 years for Srila Prabhupada to become perfect. I'm not sure. And so what you're effectively trying to tell here is that in the case of Srila Prabhupada, he is what we technically call as a sadhana siddha. That is, he was a jiva who came here, and when he came here, he performed sadhana and he became perfect. Of course, maybe in previous lifetimes he had already done something, and the remaining sadhana that was required took 20 years. That is a possible view. There are also statements by Srila Prabhupada where he said, Krishna told me, you go to earth. I said, no, I don't want to get there. But then he insisted, and so I went. So it means that it was not for sadhana that he came here. It is to, in one birth, to do what Krishna wanted. That is also, one or whatever be the number of births. Maybe Srila Prabhupada did the same thing in multiple planetary systems before this. And maybe he's again going to do the same in other planetary systems also after this, what he did in this planet Earth. So just that we don't know for sure what it is, Prabhu. But otherwise, your point is valid. You may say you are 75, but the same is true for any other age. Where are we going? That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
And I just wanted to say one more thing based on the point that they said, which is not your lecture, Prabhu, but uh, my reply to Sanatan Goparaj Prabhu. In Tamil, and likewise, I think in many other languages, there's a statement which equivalently says, there is no need to look at the origin of a rishi and of a river. Wherever it is originating from, because it is present now, it's a flowing river. It is pure. Because the sage is giving us good instructions. It's nice. So, on one hand, we have the statement that we always have to receive instructions from a person parampara. That is at a philosophical point. But where that sage came from, what they were in their past, probably not of much importance to us in general. The fact is the accessing what they're giving to us now and releasing it, like how Harishan Prabhu was releasing whatever was given by Maharaj. That's thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So it's at 7:15, 7:14. So if there is no other comments or questions, then we can end here. Okay, thank you so much for joining. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhu bhayevacha patitanam pavanebhi vaishnebhyo namo namaः. Subhuti Prabhu, you unmuted. You want to share something before we drop off?
Thank you very much, for Hare Krishna. Yeah, just one point. I felt that I can means immediately start applying is before doing any activity, we have to prepare our consciousness. Because I was reflecting on the point which Sham Kund Prabhu some days back told. So we are spending so many hours at the office. So how we can impact others? Means I'm rephrasing it maybe, but yeah. So it is not that mindlessly we do, but we have to be. We have to take that as an opportunity to behave ourselves properly and then prepare our consciousness before starting work, so that itself is a service. So that is very good point, which I thought I can start applying. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we'll end here. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.